Where is the mic? Okay, here it is. Let me turn this on. It's been a while since I turned this on, and it's not being on. All right, guys. I am in my bed. Let me fix my hair a little bit. And no one's on yet. All right, I'm in my bed using my old gym ball that I dread using because it requires software to be downloaded, and I don't like downloading apps. I'd rather just have like a normal gym ball that I can control with a button. This gym ball does have buttons, but I just don't like this Chinese software. Okay, let's talk about DIY credit repair. And let's look at the credit repair landscape. So, first of all, guys, the credit repair landscape is a trillion, is like probably, let's say 100 trillion. It's $1 trillion industry at that. It's a trillion. Let me move this. It's shaking. It's $1 trillion industry at that. If you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, why would you just skip out on all of that market share, that money to do DIY credit repair, which is like credit education, or what would you classify that? Credit education, software, right? Software as a service. Why would you just overlook the credit repair landscape and just choose DIY credit repair? What I see why someone might want to do that is because they want to they want to avoid taking responsibility of doing credit repair because of the high risks in the industry. And given that, yes, it is an industry of risk, but it is a legal industry and there's ways to conduct business. However, these people may not want to do business because they don't have the stomach for it, or they just are afraid of getting in trouble. Well, yeah, if you do it incorrectly, you could get into trouble. But one most important thing, the biggest importance of why DIY credit repair, like teaching people how to do it online, can be and has been catastrophic, is that when you begin to do this, you're giving people access to dispute accounts to which they shouldn't be disputing in the first place. And you're giving people access to bombard the credit bureaus with disputes that will make this industry much harder. Notice over the years, credit repair companies have been pretty much allowed by the government to just not investigate disputes. Imagine that. Like the bureaus now are just like blatantly lying to you. And who's to blame? I think it's because of all the disputes. Well, it's not what I think, it's the data. The data shows that too many people are disputing negative accounts. And that's to thank to all of these people on YouTube that have just shared with people different strategies on how to dispute, where some of them are not even, actually, a lot of them are not really even good strategies. And it's due to incompetence and eagerness. And there's no control on who you sell this to, right? When you actually sell this or market this knowledge to people, there's no control on who gets it, right? It's like when you join the military, you shoot a gun, but you don't bring that gun into the civilian world like a fully automatic military issued weapon. Imagine if people could do that, especially veterans these days. Veterans are crazy. Combat veterans, cuckoo. They are crazy. And I say that because I know a lot, and I dread knowing them. It's always the combat veterans. Anyway, there's no regulation, there's no quality control on who gets this information. You're just giving it out to random people, and people are going to do whatever they want with it. And you could imagine a lot of the stuff they could do, their misinterpretation of the law, because let's face it, most people are not sound legally. Basic fundamentals of credit and your consumer rights, yes, but then it can get complicated. Imagine reading the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. There's reasons why there are professionals that can stay in this industry and handle that for you. Now, of course, I have a bias because I own a credit repair company, but I'm also thinking about all of the scammers and fake gurus out there that are not even qualified experts. They're just regurgitating information from someone else and then packaging it differently and selling it. So, how effective could that be? A total hypocrite that's selling information that doesn't have experience or clients, or is even new in the industry and claims that they're an expert. So that's something that we have to observe as well. That's a really important thing. The way I see it, I've always remained private with my business because I like to manage who I work with. And another thing is that when you are sharing out to the world, well, this is YouTube, a strategy on how to repair something on a credit report, that strategy doesn't always apply to the person, to everyone. And so it's like there should be a consultation with that person for you to understand specifically their needs, and then you could uncover and unveil certain violations that would apply to their certain instance. Imagine if I put a video and say, this is how you remove this is how you remove that. Well, there's no one size fits all, and that's the problem. People think there's a one size fits all. And to know human psychology and the motivation behind a content creator, if you're on YouTube, your goal is to make money, and your goal is to get views, and your goal is to create content to do that. Most content creators are chasing views, and that's all they're doing. They're not necessarily helping people. And to understand how credit repair works, you can't always have one solution that's going to help most people. That's why I conduct my business by having a consultation with that person and then understanding what are the possibilities and opportunities in front of us that we could start disputing, start paying off stuff, right? That's not to say all credit information is bad. There's a lot of good information out there, but then there's a disproportionate amount of information that is just not helpful, and it's doing more harm than good. When you do credit repair too much and dispute things, that actually closes the door of opportunity. When you give the creditor a certain time to verify things, like actually verify them, that could limit your opportunity to get that account removed. That's the truth. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen, so I have to say that. You can't just dispute things, and think that it's going to go away just because you dispute it. No, you actually have to have an end goal and a plan, and you have to actually know what you're doing. So that's one thing that we should take into account. Guys, if you're just coming into this video, you've missed 8 minutes of this video where I covered important points of the industry of credit repair and DIY credit repair. But the main crux of this argument and observation is that, DIY credit repair is fine. It's good to educate people. Definitely, definitely. But the reality of what actually happens, me observing the reality, it's not the intention. When we look at what's actually happened with data, and I just read some articles, this information is not my opinion, it's based upon data, and the data that I look at from the CDIA, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and also other law firms and fintech companies, and even just being in the business myself, I look at this and then just looking at YouTube metrics and view counts and people's opinions on Quora and Reddit, it's quite clear to me that the expertise lies in people with actual credentials, not just random people trying to learn stuff, because people give up They misinterpret things and they buy these courses. And I'm telling you, those courses suck so bad. They're so basic. They're so basic. Why would someone in the credit repair business, I mean, are they in the credit repair business or are they just selling you courses on how to repair your own credit, which is essentially a lazy man's way of selling you something that they know they cannot have any, buyer's remorse from, in the sense that, oh, I sold you how to do it. If it didn't work, maybe you did it wrong or whatever, right? Or I'm going to sell you a CRM. Oh, I sold you the CRM so you could fix your credit, but I didn't promise you it's going to fix your credit. But how they're marketing it on YouTube and social media is that this is how you remove this. This is how you remove that. The truth of the matter is they don't know what's going to work. Neither do I. And I've been doing this for a long time. I have lots of case studies, lots of case studies to back this up. I don't even know what's going to work for you until we actually do it and it actually gets deleted. Everything else is just speculation. And why? It's because there are multiple factors in credit. It's not just one single thing. There's multiple factors where some people might translate that as luck. I don't, because it's all logic. There's some luck, but the thing is that there are so many factors in credit that is good because it allows you to open up investigations in direct and indirect ways and get stuff removed. It's quite technical. It's quite technical. It's not as simple as, oh, this doesn't match with that. That's not looking like how it's reported on this bureau. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that. There's rules in credit reporting and there's time frames. It's not just what's actually on the report, it's how it's reported, the transmission of that, how it's been reported and how it's been received. And this is an imperfect system, so you can capitalize on those rule sets to get things off. I've done it countless times. But let's go back. DIY credit repair. Why would someone in the right mind that's teaching someone how to repair credit not even actually have customers that they can actually help for a fee? Is it wrong to do that? Is it against the law to charge people to fix their credit? Why would it be? Because for me, I wouldn't even take on a customer. I'm not perfect, but I've made mistakes before, but ideally I want to take on a client that I know I could help, because if I don't from looking at the credit report, if I think like, this person is delinquent, they owe this creditor money and they're on the brink of getting sued, or they are perpetually getting late payments with no intention to pay back stuff that they, know that they borrowed, I'm gonna be like, what is the chance of success? There's other things other than that. That's the outside. Let's look at the inside of the credit report. Well, hypothetically speaking, if I saw their report, it would have a very small amount of violations on it. I look at the report and I see everything makes sense. There's some discrepancies here, but it's not really a leg to stand on. I'm not really seeing any violations on this report. So what does that tell me? I'm like, no, this is a low percentage of success. So what am I going to do? Am I going to take on that client, charge them money, and then not give them results, and then deal with their, buyer's remorse? No. I'm not going to deal with that. So I'm not going to take them on as a client. But what I can do, I could sell them the idea that if I sell them Dispute Panda, that they could do it themselves. They just pay a monthly thing for it, and that's putting money in my pocket, and then my hands are clean, because the responsibility is on them to fix their credit, hence DIY credit repair. Or get enough people to believe that they can fix their credit and make a video and make it seem so popular by inflating it with fake views and ad campaigns and whatever indirect means these hackers on YouTube are doing. technically hacking, and then getting them to click the buttons on the CRM to look at their credit report and even sell them a credit report and even charge them for the monitoring service. And I have no risk. And I do that by volume and volume and volume. And I just keep on exploiting people with bad credit because that's what a G does. That's a business owner, right? Taking advantage of people and just getting them to believe that this could be fixed. No, for me, I pick and choose my battles. I'm a smart person. And I typically work with people that have big, severe problems and have money. If you don't have money, you can't afford my fee. So we have other programs for you. But the main determining factor of me even working with you, if whether you joined my lower program or my higher program, is to qualify you. I look at the report and I could be wrong too. I've looked at reports where I'm like, I don't really see much and I don't feel comfortable charging the person. So I'm going to charge them, maybe 3 grand, which is really low. I don't want to charge them 10 like normal people pay me, you know. That's probably why I'm such a dick sometimes because I deal with people that are paying me a lot higher. And I'm sorry if you guys, aren't used to that, but when I get someone that is considering their $500 or $1,000 a lot of money and they want to pay me, I'm like, well, you should relax because if you want to work with me, I'm working with a different level of clientele. And that's not me putting that person down or trying to make myself look good. I'm just telling you that's the reality. And what's going to happen is if I take you on as a client, but they're really paying me a lot more, I'm going to look bad in front of them. I don't want to do that. And another thing is that in most cases, no amount of money you pay me can fix the credit report. It doesn't work like that. You don't just pay me money and then it goes away. No, that does not work that way. It's great to make a profit, right? But at the same time, it's about what you're getting, right? Some people, they call me and they get pissed off and they're like, dude, just fix it. I'm going to pay you, get it done. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. They don't like to hear that. And then they get pissed. They get pissed when that happens. What do you want me to do? Like lie to you? I'm going to hear it from you one way or another down the line. Usually when I look at a file and I think that, you know, it's not really winnable, I'm usually right, but I can be wrong. There's been files that I thought like, it's going to be really tough. And then, whoa, the first round things get removed. It's not likely that happens though, but it does happen. So sometimes I'm wrong. And then vice versa, where I look at files and I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of violations on here. A lot of the stuff is old and paid off. So this is a high success case right here. And then I'm totally wrong. I'm totally wrong. And it's a train wreck. It's a train wreck, right? So that happens. It doesn't always happen, but it's just to show you that this industry is not perfect. Neither am I. But I have good intentions, right? So one thing is time. Time. If you give enough time in working on your credit, I suggest hiring a professional that you know is good. You have to do your due diligence. The amount of time that you guys watch on how to do credit repair, you should research on who is actually doing it and then set up a consultation with them and talk, hear their voice, have a call with them, and then you make that judgment call. Not just think that you know it all, right? That's not going to get you anywhere. There are people that consider me, their savior, and there's people that consider me the antichrist, and I've never even worked with those people. So what does that tell you? You can be wrong about people. How many times have you personally been wrong about someone? Let's be honest here. I know for a fact I've been wrong about some people. I could have sworn this person was not good, but then they turned around and they blew my mind. I was completely wrong for making that assessment about them. So it's all about getting your mind into a calm place which is difficult on YouTube because most of the content out there is just hyped up. I'm sorry to tell you. It's not clean. It's not, I mean, I'm in my fucking bed on a live call, right? But it's cool because it's videos like this that put, $50,000 in my bank account, right? People love the transparency. I'm not here to impress you. I'm just here to tell you the truth, right? I've pretty much accomplished what I want to accomplish in my life. And I'm pretty secure and happy with that. I'm not here to impress anyone. My joy is not, you know, showing off and impressing people. I'm pretty happy and content. Now, now I have new goals, new aspirations, and new dreams, new milestones. But the main goal for me in my life was to be happy, was to be at peace, was to have dinner on the table, was to have money in the bank, was to be able to feed my family and have clothes and travel around the world and not have just a little box of fucking hamburger helper like I used to when I was like a teenager, living, in a fucking shack. So I already got out of that a long time ago. That was my life goal to have a house, to have a business which was my later goal. Now it's sharing with others what I've been able to accomplish. So DIY credit repair, you got to be careful with that because how good are you at learning? Like have any of you guys bought something from IKEA and like just couldn't put the fucking drawer together because you have dyslexia like I have, or it's just you were anxious, or how about this? Life happens, right? You have to understand credit repair, working on your credit could take months. I know that we hope to get it done in the first month. We watch a video on YouTube, we get all excited, we see that person's one anecdotal. When I say anecdotal, for those of you that don't know, that means your own personal experience mixing it up as if it is the prescription to the world. Oh, it worked for me, so it must be fucking going to help everyone else. That's called an anecdote. That's not how case studies work. That's not how science work, okay? What happened with you may not be what someone else is going through, right? Some of us have erectile dysfunction. I sure as hell don't. Some of us have to go to a TRT clinic for the rest of their fucking pathetic life because they were, you know, doing steroids as a youngster because they've never had real testosterone. Not me. So what that person does with their life and their body and their dick has nothing to do with me, right? So we can't get our own experiences mixed up with others. It's like you go to the doctor, get a blood test, right? Some people want to do vegan diet. I don't. I do vegan diet by months, not years. A vegan diet for me is a temporary thing, but my diet is mostly vegetables. But that works for me. It actually works for a lot of people, but for some people, it doesn't work. So at the end of the day, it's all about having a consultation with a professional and doing the research to figure out who is the professional. I'll tell you what, do a search on multiple platforms. Don't just resort to YouTube. YouTube is the boob tube. It's an intention whore mechanism where content creators literally search on how to psychologically fucking manipulate you. That's the fucking truth. The clickbait captions, the SEO optimization. Long ago, you would go to the library and you would go to the classified section. You would need a secret access. You would need a special code, library card to get you access to the reference section, to different sections in the library. But those sections are not hyped up with trigger bait emotional cues and stuff like that. It's like we view YouTube as the library when it's not. YouTube is controlled by our own biases, and that's dangerous. Whatever you want, you're going to be fed on the algorithm. But who's to say what you want is actually what you need? That's the problem. You have to understand we are our own worst enemy. On YouTube can totally fucking control you. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. The internet as a whole. But to kind of help you in your search, I would suggest doing a Google search and search for just the phrase that you really want. I know what you really want. You want fast credit repair, right? Do a Google search on Google because Google owns YouTube, right? It's the father of YouTube, right? It's better. Search for fast credit repair, and then if when you see Pinnacle Credit Repair, my company, click on it. Don't click on anything else. Click on mine. So just do it right now. Go to Google, Fast Credit Repair, and then scroll down until you see pinnaclecreditrepair.com, Pinnacle Credit Management, or badcredit.org. You're going to find my company, Pinnacle. And then do some research there, and then you decide. On my website, there's articles that go into depth into the financial data of this industry. That should be good enough for you. You can go on Instagram, and you could go on where else? TikTok, you can go on LinkedIn. Try to just go to multiple social media platforms and then do your search there. That way you're getting water from different sources, not just the well. And when you have done that research with the multiple social media sites, you get a handful, more than a handful, maybe two handfuls, 10, a selection of 10 companies that you want to talk to, and you set up a consultation with those 10 companies, right? Lexington Law is one big one. They got sued for $2.6 billion for violating the telemarketing sales rule as it applies to credit repair and other things. Lexington Law has a pretty bad reputation, but you should go check them out. You be the judge, right? You guys should have discernment over your own financial future, not just take my word as, the word of God, because it's not. But they were sued for 2.6 billion, and I think it's for a reason. And the majority of the mainstream credit repair companies, they follow the same culprit of Lexington Law. Lexington Law has always been the godfather of credit repair. Now, I was mentored by the original founder of Lexington Law, but mind you, Lexington Law pre 2003 was a different animal. Actually had a good reputation. I talked to people that are in their 50s and even 60s, and they have nothing good to say about Lexington Law. But if you talk to people in their 30s, like my age, they're going to hate it. They're going to always talk crap about it, right? Let's talk about DIY credit repair on YouTube. There has not been one video on the subject of removing a bankruptcy that has been as thorough or as diverse as the methods that I've used to remove bankruptcies, which do not entail the methods that they have used specifically. I've never removed a bankruptcy using the information that's on YouTube, and I've checked. You can do a check too. You just put it in, how to remove a bankruptcy. You can look at the first 5 videos, and that's pretty much going to sum it up, right? But think about this. When we dispute items on a credit report, why are we disputing them? This is really, really, really important. Some low IQ people, they criticize me for they consider it theorizing credit repair strategy. It's not theory. I own a credit repair company. If you go on YouTube, this is not to brag, but some people are just like really low IQ and low frequency to add that. When you type fast credit repair on YouTube, like I think my website's like on the first page. So that's for a reason, okay? Things happen for a reason. When you throw a rock up to the sky, it falls down for a reason. It just doesn't just happen. So let's set that aside. Lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Damn, I hate it when I do that. That sucks. Well, hey, it happens. It happens. Maybe someone can remind me what I was just talking about. I was alluding, I was coming on to a really, really important point. Oh, yes. I was criticized by someone. They were saying, instead of theorizing about credit, no, 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 these aren't theories. These are practical things. These are things that I've done with my career, with my clients, right? They're not theories. And it's important to understand principle and merit and reason before you begin to dispute with these tricks and these methods. It's like when you go to the gym, you want to learn the scientific methods on how to lift weights and stuff, but what's really going to get you to do the extra reps is the mentality in your mind. It's the reason why you're going to the gym. That's going to supersede all the mechanics. It's the same for credit repair. When you look at the merit, these bureaus have wronged you. Your privacy is so important, but why? If you're making a complaint to the government, like the police or the FBI or any government agency or body, they're coming to save people. But guess what? You know that saying, no harm, no foul? Well, there's no damage done to you, so what's the problem here? They're coming for the damage. If there's no house burning, the ambulance, the fireman's not going to come. It's the same thing with your credit. If creditors haven't really wronged you, should the CFPB do anything to help you? Should they use their resources to come and send the cavalry and save your fucking pathetic ass? Excuse my French. Think about that. That is really important there, right? There has to be some sense of urgency. Do you really need this stuff off your credit, right? The CFPB is run by humans. They're not AI yet. So it's important to understand these creditors. Why are they so compelled to keep errors on your report or mistakes on your report? And if they're so adamant to keeping them on your report, how is it that YouTube content creators in the niche of credit repair can share all of their credit repair strategies? Because they want to help people, right? Because if you really want to help people, you would share all of your info, right? Or are they withholding something? Two things. Either they are so basic as fuck and incompetent, or they are deliberately withholding stuff. Either or, the stuff that they are sharing, let's just say it was so dignified and so advanced. Well, if the problem is when you share that with the world, when I say the world gets it, so do them, meaning the creditors. Now they can come up with a strategy to block yours, right? I mean, if they're really the opposing side, it's like me telling the plays of if two football teams are going at it for the Super Bowl. It's like one coach saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this in the fourth quarter, okay?" And do that, and like they're going to have a game plan against that, right? It's game plans that win fights, battles, right? Strategists. I don't understand. I mean, are trade secrets valuable these days? I mean, is there such thing as trade secrets? Right? Why would you want to give your competitors an edge? And for all those people that are selling courses on how to repair credit or help you start your own business, and they want to talk about how much of a business person they are, like I'm a business person. Well, let me tell you something about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a business person. And here's the thing, why would you create competition in a disproportionate way when you can own stake in businesses that you build? So that tells you who's the real fucking wolf in sheep's clothing right there. I swear to God, because here's the thing. When you have stake in something, it's like entering a monogamous relationship. When you actually invest in a business, when you buy stock, i.e., owning stake in a business that you want to build, you are now an investor to a degree of the amount of time, effort, and resources that you put in that business. So if I'm really trying to help other businesses, indeed, I would offer to put skin in the game, not just exploit and extract monies from them for a fee for a fucking course and then say, oh, this is how you do it. So are these business people really business people? Or are they just fucking just trying to accumulate money by selling fucking courses? That's a business question for now. I mean Warren Buffett is the richest one of the richest men alive because he buys companies and he builds them up. He invests in them. So all these people that are flashing cars and entrepreneurism and saying, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur," da, 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 well, you own fucking stock in J.C. Penney or fucking this or that or whatever, but you don't own stock in the businesses that you're so-called building up. Why? Is this? I mean, is I'm the only one that thought about this? Is my brain that much bigger than everybody else's? I seriously doubt it. It's not a matter of my brain being bigger than others. It's a matter of these people know they're not fucking up to any fucking good, and they're just fucking taking money from people selling fucking courses. It's like Ty Lopez. When was the last time you saw him fucking sponsor someone with skill? He was never on Shark Tank. He's not really a qualified business person. He's never really created anything significant. Yet he wants to talk like a mad scientist. But he's not Elon Musk. He's not Thomas Edison. He's not Jeff Bezos at any level, but he wants to comment on them. So this is the definition of hypocrisy right here. And we've seen too much on it on social media. And so I warn you, beware and have good discernment of people. Have good discernment of those and observe. Try to figure out what is their bias. What are they trying to accomplish? Or what are they trying? Think about this. What are they trying to sell you? What are they trying to sell you? That should be the first thing on your mind. What is this motherfucker trying to sell me? That should be the first thing on your mind.